Greetings, chaps. So we are now back with the Collingwood, the Tier 7 British battleship that will come as a premium alongside the British battle cruisers.
Show 'em what we've got, chaps.
And, well, as much as St. Vincent and the rest were fairly decent lines, well, the Collingwood is absolutely shite. It's basically you take the Nelson, remove everything that makes the ship good, and then be forced to use 2 consumables to keep the ship on life support. Let's just start with the guns. So the Collingwood, unlike the Nelson with 9 guns, she only has 6 guns. They are the same as those of the Lion, the 419, but they are nerfed. Like you have a normal HE instead of the boosted HE of the British battleships. Also, even though it's only 6 guns, and well, you would have expected the ship to be a battle cruiser with battle cruiser dispersion. Well, no, it's a battleship with standard battleship dispersion, and even with the 2.0 Sigma, well, the guns in general are just incredibly unreliable. Like, sure, it's nice to have the biggest caliber at Tier 7, but yeah, it would have been better if you could actually use the guns. On top of that, while you would want to close the distance to be able to use all these guns, well, let's just say that the hull doesn't really make it possible. So, unlike the Nelson, the Collingwood is fully covered with 26mm of armor, which means that, well, pretty much any cruiser and any battleship would just demolish her. It's especially true when you will be up tier, which, well, just when it does happen fairly often. So, yeah. Armor-wise, don't even try to tank for against anything that isn't a low tier battleship. If it wasn't enough, there is a gigantic citadel which goes well above water,
Torpedoes dead ahead.
and it's also fairly thinly protected.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
So unless you get lucky, showing broadside is basically a death sentence. And actually, yeah, it's not just showing broadside. Since most of the enemy battleships that you will face can overmatch your bow and stern, well, even when angled, you will sometimes take enormous chunks of damage. So, yeah. Why would you want to suffer with that when most of other battleships have at least decent tanking capabilities at Tier 7? Well, except of course things like the Colorado or the what's it called now? The Nagato. Actually, even then, Nagato is still much better than Collingwood for that. And well, if the lack of armor wasn't even enough, the ship handles like an oil tanker. She's only able to reach 25 knots,
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
and she just takes absolutely ages to accelerate. Like, any sort of actions that would involve quickly going to a certain position, you forget it with this ship. You just forget it completely.
Our team has taken the lead.
So, yeah, an unpleasant experience, and that's putting it nicely. She just has so many downsides, and Wargaming just tried to make her somewhat interesting by giving her a long main battery load booster that lasts for 25 seconds, as well as hydroacoustic surge to help with enemy destroyers that would try to torpedo you. But even with these, I mean, sure, with the main battery load booster, you will be able to heavily punish broadsides if, and that's a big if, the dispersion allows you to. But when that real booster isn't active, well, you're bare boned. You just have the weakest firepower at tier 7 for a battleship. Even the Gneiss now, in my opinion, has much better firepower. So anyway, at this point in the game, my flank completely collapsed. My Firegut and Elena just decided to go balls deep, and well, since we had the main force of the enemy fleet, we had 3 battleships, a cruiser, as well as 2 destroyers. So yeah, they just got run down, and I was incredibly lucky to get away on my side. Like, just the one U-turn I tried to do to get away. Since the ship is incredibly sluggish, I just wasn't able to make it. While with pretty much any other battleship at this tier, I would have been able to make the turn fairly easily. But yeah, not with the Collingwood. So I went from, what was it, 50k HP to 1k. If it wasn't for the Nelson having a fairly bad salvo on me, I would have just died. And that was it. But well, since it didn't happen, now I can take the time to use my last heals to recover as much HP as possible. And now I just need to take care of the Bretagne. And the Nelson is still busy with the U-69. So yeah, we'll just slowly glide away, wait for my my Reaper parties to return. And then I just went down on that Bretagne. And for the Nelson, well, the guy decided to focus more on A, and I suppose he was going for the Lazo and maybe the Cavour that was pushing on the C cap. I'm not sure. One thing for sure, they decided to leave me alone, which, well, I'm truly grateful for it, because, well, the Nelson, it can just turn your Collingwood into mincemeat. Maybe with the HE that just, you know, deals the classic 15k damage plus 3 fires. Well, even with the AP shells that are pretty bad actually on the Nelson, he would have been able to slaughter me quite easily. So now I'm burning through my last heals, and I can finally push back on that Bretagne, while the Nelson is busy on A. Now here, that was one of the good aspects of the Collingwood, since she has high tier guns. She has very good penetration, so I was at least able to get one citadel on the Nelson. It's not much, but it's honest work. In any case, the game is pretty much done. The D side were able to swiftly push through since they had basically no resistance, and we were able to hold the A side for long enough. In any case, for the Collingwood, yeah, she just is not worth getting at all. If you get her in the random bundles, I'm not sure if you can call yourself lucky or unlucky. Anyway, that's all for me, I suppose. See you guys.